It was a gray Tuesday in Lexington, Nebraska, one of those flyover towns where corn outnumbers people, and the biggest excitement in months was the regional high school science fair. Students shuffled into the gymnasium with cardboard trifold displays, awkward smiles, and last-minute panic about forgotten batteries. Among the folding tables, 16-year-old Riley Bennett was adjusting a tangled array of wires and solar panels taped to what looked like a beat-up skateboard. "I call it the grid skip," she said to her friend Maya. "It reroutes solar energy through kinetic capture systems. Basically, a battery that charges while you move." "Looks like a blender married a Roomba," Maya teased. But Riley wasn't laughing. She wasn't just here for the school trophy or the local news article. She had mailed her invention pitch to 50 tech leaders, hoping one, just one, might notice. Her dream: to design tech that could power rural towns off-grid. One person had replied. And not just any person. "Elon Musk is on the schedule," Principal Simmons had said that morning, holding up his phone like it might explode. "Apparently he's landing this afternoon. Here. In a helicopter." Word spread like wildfire. Teachers panicked. Parents called in sick just to sneak into the gym. But Riley? She panicked the most. What if he hated it? What if he didn't even show? At exactly 2:06 p.m., a silver Tesla Cybertruck rolled into the school parking lot instead of a chopper. Out stepped Elon Musk, hoodie, sunglasses, and the awkward stride of someone who'd rather be building rockets than mingling with teenagers. The crowd murmured. Cameras flashed. And Riley, now sweating through her shirt, watched as Musk slowly scanned the gym before making a beeline, not for the fancy AI-powered drone booth, but for her scrappy skateboard on steroids. "You Bennett?" he asked, pulling down his sunglasses. She nodded, mouth dry. "This yours?" he said, pointing. "Yes. It's the grid skip. It uses..." He cut her off. "I read your letter." Silence. "And your energy loop theory. Flawed." The room froze. Riley's heart dropped. Her cheeks burned. She had invited her hero, and he was dismantling her in front of the entire school. "Explain your circuit again," he added, arms crossed. Riley swallowed hard. "It captures solar and motion energy. Then..." "I know what it says it does." "I want to know if it works," Musk replied, his tone sharp. And just like that, the challenge began. A crowd started to gather. Phones recorded. Teachers whispered. Riley's hands shook as she plugged in the battery module and nudged the board forward. A small LED display blinked to life. The grid skip hummed faintly. "It's working," Maya whispered. Elon bent closer, poking the wiring with a practiced eye. "Show me the charge curve." I have it logged on my tablet." Riley pulled up a jagged chart. "See. With combined solar and kinetic input, it builds 18% more charge than a standard photovoltaic loop," Elon finished. "Yeah, I saw that. But why use off-the-shelf parts? This thing couldn't power a microwave." "It's a prototype," Riley defended. "I built it with scraps. If I had your materials..." "Everyone says that," Elon snapped. "Ideas are cheap. Engineering is execution." That stung. Around them, the crowd tightened. Some students started to frown. Others stared, unsure if they were witnessing a breakthrough or a takedown. Then Riley did something unexpected. She picked up a marker and walked straight to her board. "Fine," she said, drawing two overlapping circles. "Let's assume your inductive battery cells and my feedback loop don't match. But what if you rerouted the solar conversion through a dynamic capacitor?" She paused. Elon blinked. "And add a failsafe limiter to stop the overvoltage feedback that fried the prototype last week," she added. "You fried it?" Elon asked. "Twice," she said, smirking. "Third time's the charm." Elon tilted his head. "You're not entirely wrong." The air shifted. Maya grinned. Riley stood taller. Then Elon stepped back. "Let's test your theory. I'll bring my team." Gasps rippled through the gym. "Wait, you're serious?" Riley asked. "I didn't come here to watch a pep rally," Elon said. "You've got something. Let's see if it breaks under pressure." An hour later, a black van pulled up. Out came 3 Tesla engineers carrying toolkits and laptops. A makeshift lab formed on a lunch table. Students watched as Riley rewired her prototype with actual Tesla-grade components, hands trembling with each connection. Elon sat beside her, mostly quiet. Once, he pointed to a resistor and said, "Wrong one." Another time, he nodded in approval. By the end, the grid skip buzzed louder, and the LED display pulsed at 42% more efficiency than before. Riley stared at the numbers. She had just doubled her own invention's power. "Still flawed," Elon said, standing. "But flawed in the right direction." The crowd burst into applause. Riley didn't cry. She laughed, a shaky, stunned laugh. Then Elon said, "Come visit the Gigafactory this summer. Let's see what else you can build." Riley's world shifted overnight. By morning, the school's front lawn was crawling with news vans. Teen engineer impresses Elon Musk blared across local and national headlines. Her inbox exploded. Tech recruiters, podcasters, college scouts. Even NASA sent a "well done." But it was the handwritten letter from a retired electrician in Omaha that hit hardest. "You reminded me of why I fell in love with wires," it read. "Never stop tinkering." 2 months later, Riley stood outside Tesla's Gigafactory in Nevada, her name printed on a glossy visitor badge. Inside, it smelled like ozone and precision. The walls pulsed with automation. Robots moved like dancers. Elon greeted her with a nod. "You ready to test failure at scale?" She nodded, heart pounding. The next weeks were grueling. She worked 12-hour days, usually alongside technicians who barely looked twice at a teenage girl from Nebraska. At first, Riley felt invisible. Then, during a late-night session, her revised grid skip overloaded and sparked mid-test. "Power dump loop malfunction," she muttered, tearing off her goggles. One engineer scoffed. "Told you the feedback cap couldn't hold at 900 RPM. But Riley refused to back down. She sketched out a bypass, argued with 3 engineers, and rewired the prototype by 3 a.m. The next morning, it worked flawlessly. By week 4, people stopped calling her the science fair girl. She was just Bennett, part of the team. One afternoon, Elon pulled her aside. "What do you want, really?" he asked. "To solve energy poverty," she replied instantly. "Rural towns. Off-grid villages. Places like where I'm from. They deserve tech that works for them, not despite them." He studied her. "Good answer." Later that day, she pitched a scalable version of the grid skip for rural vehicles. Wheelbarrows, delivery carts, even irrigation units. The room fell quiet. Then Elon said, "We'll build a test unit. And if it survives, we'll build 100 more." Riley blinked. "Wait, you're funding it?" "No," Elon said. "You are. I'm giving you a starter grant and an R&D team. But this is your company now. Time to lead." Back in Nebraska, the gym where Riley once stood with a shaky trifold display now held banners that read, "Welcome to Grid Skip Labs." It wasn't just a school science fair anymore, it was the launch site of a pilot program. With Elon Musk as an advisor, not a boss by her insistence, Riley founded Grid Skip Labs to develop low-cost, kinetic solar hybrid modules for rural farming and transportation. The first test units rolled out in just 3 months. Buggy, duct-taped, but real. Her hometown rallied. Local welders offered shop space. A retired tractor dealer donated chassis. Her high school science teacher became the office manager. But not everyone was convinced. "This town doesn't need big tech handouts," one farmer scoffed. "We need jobs, not gadgets." Riley listened. Then she hired him. "Help me build the thing you think won't work," she said. "And if you're right, I'll scrap the whole program." 6 weeks later, his tune changed. This thing hauled a feed cart 6 miles without gas. I'm in. Grid skip modules began appearing on wheelbarrows, irrigation carts, and delivery bikes from Nebraska to Kenya. They were painted bright yellow and green, Riley's nod to both sunlight and crops. The motto: move, charge, thrive. When Elon visited again, there were no cameras, no press, just a barn-turned lab, a dozen local kids learning circuitry, and Riley in overalls covered in grease. He watched a prototype cart hum across gravel, charging as it went. "You still think your theory's flawed," she teased. "I think I underestimated you," Elon said. "That's rare." Riley grinned. "Everyone starts flawed. What matters is which direction you break." They shook hands under the old gym lights, now flickering from a solar grid inverter powered by the grid skip system itself. The town threw a cookout that night. Farmers, students, and former skeptics all gathered. Maya played DJ. Riley's parents brought pie. Elon tried corn for the first time, not from Whole Foods, and declared it revolutionary. Before he left, Elon handed Riley a small metal token. "I only give these to a few people," he said. "It's not for genius. It's for guts." Riley turned it over. Engraved was a simple phrase: "Boldness earns the future." Epilogue. 3 years later, Grid Skip Labs expanded to 5 continents. Riley turned down 2 venture capital offers. She preferred grants and community partners. And every device still bore the name of the high school where it all began. Because that's where Elon Musk didn't just critique an invention. He got challenged and changed. And Riley, she just kept building.